Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about Tonix Pharmaceuticals. Izzy, we talked earlier. Thank you so much for sending me this information. I know we talked a lot about it tonight, and this is a stock that is sold off dramatically. Now, when we look at a company, a pharmaceutical company, which carries a significant degree of risk, we're looking at a company that also has the potential to go back up in a violent manner, because the stock has gone down so much, as you can see from FinViz right here, $20 a share back in the beginning of 2024, hitting $17, doubling in price, and then selling off even more. There's really not a huge short float right now. Shares in the float is 22 million. The total market cap is less than 4 million. When we look at some of these forecasts, this is when it gets crazy. So if you come on over to tradingview.com, price target of $22.33. Strong buy. If we go over to Zacks, we have an average price target of $30.83. If we come over to Fintel, we have an average projected stock price of $22.78, implying over 13,000% upside from current levels. These are all major forecasting services. Now take it as you want. Obviously, there's different forecasting services and things like this on the web. If we come over to CNN Business, they're saying that this stock could go to $48 per share on the high side from 17 cents where it's currently trading, roughly. So median is $11. That's still significant upside, over 6,000% from the current share price. The low is $8 per share for CNN Business. So I found that interesting. Take it as you want. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Tonix Pharmaceuticals is expanding an offering to raise money. If you're new to this company, it's basically a pharmaceutical company. And first of all, let's go over the offering. So they initially set a cap for $50 million of share issuances. And so the amendment triples potential financial influx from the equity market, reflecting the company's proactive measures to secure funding. And in addition to securing funding, what they're trying to do is really just really succeed in their goals, whether that's FDA approval or whatever it is, whatever step of the process you're in. So if you're really watching this company, you can probably tell me more about what's going on behind the scenes. And I know, I kind of got some insight tonight when I was talking to my friend Izzy about this. And what it comes down to is that we have a stock that's sold off about 99% from current levels. And so we have a pharmaceutical company that's potentially involved with like the monkeypox vaccines and stuff like that, that's down 99% in the last year. So this money essentially from $50 million to $150 million under its existing sales agreement, which allows it to issue additional shares as needed. And so it'll allow Tonix to have a more robust financial framework to support its ongoing operations and development. Same candidate for Mpox or the monkeypox in response to the World Health Organization's declaration of the Mpox outbreak in African countries as a public health emergency. So they potentially have Mpox vaccines. Now, if the stock is down 99% and they're securing $150 million in funding and they're actually able to pull this off, one other thing I noticed was that they have multiple gaps on their chart. We go back to the current price of 0.679. There's a huge gap in the chart from $70 to $1. There's another large gap from $1 to $2 a share. So from $17 to $2 a share, you can see why people might be getting excited about this. And like I said, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Huge downward candlestick from $6 all the way above $10. You could argue there's another gap all the way up here at $16. Maybe that's why, if they're assuming all the gaps get filled, up to $20, you're seeing a lot of these forecasts. And like I said, take these forecasts as you want. But all these different websites are saying this could hit anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40 bucks a share, if not more. From 16, 17 cents a share. That's why people are getting so pumped up about this one. Go on over to StockTwits, go on over to these other websites. You'll see exactly what I mean. This stock has been on the radar for a lot of people, especially with the publicity surrounding the monkeypox and potentially dealing with vaccine solutions in that regard. So this is a highly risky stock. First of all, very volatile. You have to have the psychological willpower to either say, you know what, this is going to be a gamble and I might throw the entire investment away, but if it pays off, then this thing could go to $2, $5, $10, $20 a share. It is possible. I've seen much crazier things happen in the market. We know that these things happen. And I just wanted to talk about this one very briefly because there are these gaps on the chart going all the way up from 1 to 2, 18 down to 14 or $15. If you get closer here, you can see a $3 gap going down to $2, another gap down from $2 to $1. So assuming all those gaps do in fact get filled, or even these first couple, that would imply a share price from 16 cents to $3 a share, which if that were to happen, if you're willing to stomach the volatility, you may just end up making a lot of money. What these screeners are at least saying about the potential upside for this company. And 13,000%, that's no joke. Now, obviously, these are just online screeners, and so you're going to get different numbers depending on which one you're looking at. But with that being said, I thought this would be a fun one to look at. If this does go up even 3,000%, let's say this goes to $1, $2, $5 even a share from 16 cents, people are going to be very excited, as they already are. But thank you so much for tuning into this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.